in our opening video, this week introduces your sensory perception project. It's due on November 18th. I do suggest that you start overviewing the directions and other things now. If you wait until the last minute, it's not going to work out well for you. When you come down to this section of our module, you'll see that you have a rubric, you have a sample from another student, you have PDF of the milestones of child development, and you have the directions for this particular project. So let's very briefly look at those. Okay, so for this particular project, you are going to create either a Prezi, a PowerPoint, or an oral presentation. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at these, it's about 15 objects, and you're going to tell me how each of these everyday objects stimulates the development of both infants and toddlers. You have to do both. So if you are doing an oral presentation, you have to actually show me the object. If you are doing a Prezi or a PowerPoint, you need to have a picture of that object. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to tell me how the following items contribute to the sensory development of both infants and toddlers. For each item listed below, you'll locate a picture, and you will describe how an infant or toddler would work with that particular item. It will not be the same because, of course, they're in different stages of development. And then you're going to use the milestones of child development to provide evidence on which domain: cognitive, physical, social, emotional, language, fine motor, approaches to learning, etc. the item stimulates. So, for example, a baby quilts, right? An infant might use it for comfort and to self-soothe. This correlates to the social emotional domain and milestones of child development. Strand 3, expressions of feelings and self-regulation. C1, develop early emotional and behavioral regulation. A toddler may pretend it's a superhero kid. Correlates to fine arts domain, milestones of child development. Strand 3, theater arts. C6, engage in pretend play. Presentation's got to be orderly, of professional quality, proofread, proofread, proofread. It's worth 15 points. So, very quickly, I told you, you have a video, and that is located right here, of how to use milestones. What I really want you to take note of is what we call the birth to kindergarten developmental continuum. You'll notice that the arrow is going downward. That's because it starts up here at infancy, and it continues down through age 5, kindergarten. So as you look at the letters and the numbers that correlate to each particular strand in each particular area, infancy is going to be up here in the 1s, 2s, and 3s. I should never see a milestone strand go, A10 or A11 or B15 for an infant. Toddlerhood is going to be somewhere in the middle, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, depending on what the actual item that you describe is. So be sure to follow the arrow up here, infancy, as you go down through age 5. And then take note, each area has got its own color. The social emotional development is kind of a yellow-orange, and then you get to language and literacy, and it's blue. And then you have cognition, and it's more red. Approaches to learning is an orange color. Then you've got, fine arts in purple. So be looking at not only your arrow, but which area you're in, because each area is also broken up by those strands that we talk about. You have to list the strands and the letter, number, and actual milestone that you are using on your slide. That is where your sample is going to come in very handy. So make sure you click on that. This is where you're going to find Gene Hopkins' video on how to use milestones. So make sure you watch that as well. And lastly, pay special attention to the rubric. You've got 15 points. Mechanics, organization, neatness is 6 points. Information and source material, that's your milestones of child development and identification of domain area. And then the creativity with which you did your presentation is worth 3 points. proofread, proofread, proofread. I really hope you learn a lot from this project. I am looking forward to seeing what you come up with.